Page 60, theme from the Magic Flute by Mozart. Again, it's an opera. The Magic Flute is an opera. We're back in the key of G major. You notice the sharp and the staves at the beginning. That puts us in G major. I'd like to talk about a few things here. For the most part, it's straightforward. There's nothing on it, but again, I want to point some things out. Starting with the right hand, staccato to start with. Nice, just finger staccato. And second line, watch the slurs. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. I'm exaggerating. The idea with these two-note slurs is down, up, down, up. Careful not to play the second note staccato. It's not staccato. I have a terrible time at that. I tend to do that, and I shouldn't do that. Going on, third measure. Now they're saying a 1 and 2 for the F sharp A. I'm going to recommend that you do a 2-3 on that to avoid having to put the thumb. Now, you don't mind putting the thumb on there, you use their fingering. But I like 2 and 3 better. You can just stay there on the second line there, on the first measure, just start that with a 3. And then you can come back to the thumb on the second measure of the second line. And bring the thumb under for the next measure. See this, we're back to this thing. You've got to be able to do that easily in both hands. Get to where you can handle this. So this kind of things eventually, so you don't even have to look at the keyboard. At the bottom of the page, first measure, you have a second finger on the F sharp. And they got a turn under. I don't know why they even bother, because you've already done. You're just sticking your thumb under and playing the G with the thumb. We're back to this thing where I told you earlier, learn to do that. That type of thing. So that's all you're doing. So you're in position to go on. And again, the last measure, reach down, second finger, and thumb. It's very common in piano to do that. You could put the thumb on it, but it's more awkward, and most people, we tend not to put a thumb on a black key if we don't really have to, and so a lot of times we do this 2-1. Page 61 is okay to start with. Second measure, you got to reach up with a little finger to an E, so you're up here. And then the 8th notes there in the last measure of the first line. Watch the C sharp. And again, reach over with your second finger to get the G sharp. We're back to that move that I keep, learn to do that, because no biggie, I hope. Then the rest of it is similar to what you already had. So you can work that out, I hope. Just take a pencil and pencil in these fingerings and things that make notes to yourself. It's quite common. That's why we use a pencil, of course. I don't want it permanent, but you can make notes and things. And remember to do this and this fingering or that fingering, or this is soft or get louder or something. Whatever. In the left hand, we're starting out okay here. Our wrist staccato. It's okay, and then last measure, again, just stay with wrist staccato. Now, if it's easier for you to do wrist in both, because I told you, finger in the, if it's hard for you to do finger and wrist, then do wrist in both. Type thing, that's fine. Second line, first measure you're here, but then second measure, your thumb's got to come up. That's a C and an E in that last measure, that second line. And then it's fine, straightforward. On page 61, you have these 8th notes for the F sharp and the D. I'm just rolling. I'm rolling, rolling, rolling. You can use 4th finger on the G if you want to, if it'll help you. So That's all I'm doing is roll. I'm not trying to use the fingers to do it. I'm just rolling. I'm shifting the weight from one finger to another. And I think the rest of it's pretty much like you've already had. Now, an important point I want to bring out here is we want to bring out the melody. The melody is what controls everything. The melody rules. The melody is what it's about. Everything else is just supporting the melody. So at the beginning, the melody's in the right hand. And you keep going. Now keep going. Third line, look out. It's all melody here. By the way, you don't have to use the thumb on the F sharp if you don't want to. You can use second finger, and then you can use fourth finger or third finger. It's up to you how you do it. If you don't want to use the thumb on there, it's fine, no big deal. My point, though, is that the left hand gets melody too. It's got to sound like one hand played it all. But you're dividing it up, so you have to practice that. And then in the next measure, the left hand's soft again. Go on, third measure. Last line, the first note, the left hand gets it, it's melody. Can you play the first one and the second soft, loud, soft, soft? So it sounds like that's what we want. It's hard to do. You get in the last measure too. And you get it a little bit over on page 61 toward the bottom where the left hand gets melody for a few notes, so you have to play it a little louder. Now the only pedal they're showing is one measure on page 61, measure 16. I think it's a complete waste. I'm not going to bother with pedal. I don't know why they stuck it in. You're here. You reach down to the octave to get the other one. You shouldn't have any trouble connecting that. And then it's okay to lift up before you go on because it's a new phrase. It's like it was at the beginning. So we're not going to connect this. I want a little silence there. So that it's a new beginning, so to speak. Let's try this out slowly. Just check notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. You can put in the dynamics a little bit later. And there are some really neat dynamics in here, so I recommend you explore those dynamics. So in 4/4 time, I give us 4 counts. So the right hand is here to start, left hand's here to start. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, 4, and 4, and 4, rest. 4. It's like an echo here, softer. 4. 1, 2,